Apparently, as much as we've been talking about the death of Pixar and what's going on at Pixar and how they've been failing and flopping and they can't make original shit, they internally know that exact same thing as well, apparently. Elio flops with worst opening weekend ever for a Pixar movie. And yes, we are talking about not even adjusting for inflation or anything like that. We're talking about the worst opening that Pixar's ever seen in its 30-year history. $21 million on its opening weekend. Hasn't exactly been fantastic after that either. I think it had 35 million total in its worldwide opening weekend. Very bad. And obviously, the scrutiny that Pixar has been under is even more fresh right now because this just happened. The spotlight on Pixar intensifies as Elio becomes latest original animated pick to crash land. Even before the film opened to a record low, Pixar was in the midst of a course correction to balance its lineup with a mix of unknown characters and established IPs. And I thought it was interesting what you heard, I think the CCO, Pete Docter of Pixar, say. And it's interesting to hear them acknowledge this stuff while also talking about some of the realities of the situation. Pixar veteran Pete Docter has discussed the company's current struggles when trying to create new films and franchises, as current release Elio faces an uphill battle at the box office. Stressing that Pixar needed to find out what people know or what people want before they know it, Docter said the alternative was just feeding audiences more of what they know, leading to endless sequels and more of the same. We'd be making Toy Story 27, Docter said, speaking at Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies Summit shortly before the studio's new film opened. And he says this: it's a rough time, and all we can do is try to make movies that I think are led by us. We have to believe in them. It takes as much work and effort to make something that doesn't make money as it does for something that does. And you can't plan this. Sometimes you just hit little combinations of things. And he is right that they have to continue to try to do new stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to be making Toy Story 27. But this has been the struggle for them because they can't do that, right? They cannot make originals anymore that people accept and that people like. I think a large part of that is the talent that they banished from Pixar. Long experienced people that had been there a long time, that they ran out so they could make sure to check a bunch of boxes. And that resulted in a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing and stories that they want to tell that only represent their story and not what most people want to see.
100% agree. Most of these companies in Hollywood think the majority of people are just dumb, and no matter what they make, that people will just shovel it down. But that's not the case anymore. We have lost faith in Hollywood in all, in what anything new that they want to make. There's just been too much weird progressive stuff that was injected just in Hollywood, not saying Pixar, but just in Hollywood. So people are like, it's hard to trust new things that they're coming out with. So we just don't want to see it. But in this film right here, we showed a few days ago that even the so-called Disney adults were trashing this film on Twitter, saying like, this is just a bad film. Where one of them was like, I almost walked out because it was so boring. They didn't like it. So how do they expect people to want to watch and enjoy new stuff when it sucks, right? And then it's like, now we live in this time where I don't trust Hollywood. It's expensive to go. I'm not spending my money on something that's going to be stupid or message or whatever. So I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming, I think is what we're seeing. So I agree with you. They chased out the old guard that was very creative, and they need to find that again, because that nostalgia button won't last forever. To constantly keep making Toy Story 7, 8, 9, 10, it just won't. If that's what they feel like they're stuck doing, it just won't last forever.
And, they did in this say, look, we're committed, like, we're trying to be like, hey, if we release one original, if we release one sequel or whatever, we want to release one original too. And they do have some in the works. Looking ahead, Pixar's future slate is, as Docter suggests, a mix of original ideas and sequels, as well as Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Next year also brings human-animal body swap comedy Hoppers, while feline-focused Gatto debuts in 2027. Those are followed by Incredibles 3 and Coco 2. Bro, I love Coco. And I don't know how I feel about a Coco 2.
You make a good film, people go see it. I don't know, but they seem to have a problem with that. Coco 2. The dead come alive again.
They don't come alive.
I know. I was
Spirits,
just like, I was just throwing something out there.